Good morning, my darlings. Happy Sunday. End of the week. End of the weekend. I have some lawn maintenance going on in the background at the facility next door, so I apologize if you hear that in the background. I waited for the mowing to mostly be done, but they're still cutting hedges and stuff, so there we have it. Before we get started, as always, I want to say that wherever you are in the world today, that I hope that you are loved. I hope you're feeling loved and blessed and safe and seen. Very important things, and I really truly hope that each of us finds that in our lives. It takes work, you know. It's such a weird thing because those just seem like a human right, you know. They should just fall upon us, but they don't. They take work, and they take boundaries, and they take growing up and taking responsibility for your life, you know. So I really truly do hope that all people could get to that place where they feel those four things truly in their life and with the people around them. Anyway, moving onward. I want to say thank you, first of all, to the new subscribers and all the comments on the carnivore video the other day. That was really lovely, and I appreciated that very, very much. There will be much more of the carnivore journey to come because, you know, that is a big part of my story this year. So stay tuned. What I will say about carnivore today is that I'm actually going to order some prime rib because I have not eaten enough the last couple of days. I'm still juggling into position on carnivore, and I'm also still sort of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out a little bit, because like I've been having Caesar salad with my steaks, and I had a few chips the other day with my burger. So I'm narrowing everything down, and I think actually going into this next week, because of the groceries I bought and everything, I should be back completely 100% on carnivore. And by the end of the week, I will start feeling amazing again, and I am looking so forward to it. And I do realize that the carnivore diet is not for everyone, and I do realize that some people just aren't able to. I have a very good friend that can't digest meat, you know, so we all have our ways and our paths. I just feel very passionate about the carnivore diet because of what it's done for me, and I also feel very passionate about the things I've discovered about how we've been lied to about vegetables and about grains and about, you know, how our bodies are primarily designed to work. And then that goes into, you know, how all the big food companies lie to us, the labels lie to us. I mean, I don't know how much you all know about this. I know it because, you know, I've been carnivore and I've been like in that little echo chamber or whatever for a while, and you hear things and then I look up things, but like the thing where they've changed GMOs to bioengineered food so that people will not realize they're GMOs, and the sales will go back up. That's diabolical. I mean, I'm sorry, it just is. We should know what's in our food. The thing with the Breyer's ice cream not being actual ice cream anymore. But if you've grown up with it, if that's what you've eaten all your life, you're not checking the labels every time you go to the store to see how the product has changed what it's making. I know that even some of the butters, even Kerrygold butter, their softened butter, the ingredients on that has changed. And it's maddening. You know, I feel so frustrated by it. But again, I always have to remind myself, it's like, I can't save everybody. I can't fix everything for everybody. But, you know, being aware of it myself, researching it for myself, talking about it here, talking about it with my family and stuff, I can do that. And it's important to me. So I do want to know what's in my food. You know, my family growing up was, you know, I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Homeopathy. That's how you pronounce it. It's not how we pronounced it when I was a kid, so I always pronounce it wrong. Anyway, that I grew up with that. Those were the doctors I saw, or the doctor that I saw. That was the doctor that brought me into the world. You know, so I've never really taken part of traditional Western medication. Anyway, I didn't even have so much as a Tylenol until after I was married, and my husband talked me into it one day. And I really am very careful with what I put into my body that's synthetic, but I don't pay that much attention. My mom used to always read labels, but they were so much easier to read back in the day, you know? And I am not a big label reader, but when you pick up a box in the thing is like the ingredients list is like the whole back of the box, and now they're putting QR codes, tiny little QR codes on the box. So if you really want to know everything that's in the food, you have to pull your phone out in the grocery store, scan the QR code, and see what's real. It's just no. That's diabolical. That's not right, and that should not be okay. It shouldn't be. And that's like, as I understand it, that's the FDA that's doing that. I mean, the FDA, when it was originally incepted, was a really good thing. People were dying. People aren't dying instantly anymore, but we're still dying from what they put in our foods, you guys. I mean, chronic diseases, what they're spraying, the glyphosates on the, which is a pesticide effectively, on the fruits and vegetables. It's a mess out there is what I'm saying. And we can't fix it. I mean, we can't, what are you or I going to do on such a huge scale? But what we can do is protect ourselves by being informed. So, it's something I'm personally very passionate about. It's honestly in my astrology. I'm a Sagittarius rising. Sagittarius, we love higher education and knowledge and researching stuff like that. It's that and adventures. Those are the big key. Sagittarius are like higher education, philosophy, writing, teaching, adventures, big time adventures, and beliefs. Not religion, but beliefs. And I tell you, those three things, those are my heart right there. So anyway, I don't want to make this a lengthy carnivore chat again today, but I did want to say that. Now, what I want to talk to you about next is the state fair, okay? Because I did a little bit of research, and guess what I found out? The Florida State Fair is actually next month, because apparently Florida's smart and realized nobody would want to go to a state fair in Florida in the middle of the summer. Lightning, thunder, humidity, heat, death. It would be bad. People would be dropping like flies all over the place. I mean, they do at the parks in the summer. I'm telling you, I don't think people realize how many people pass out. You don't understand how quickly dehydration will sneak up on you. Heat waves or heat stroke and all of that. It sneaks up on you fast. I almost passed out one day, and I learned my lesson. Never again. But anyway, tangent. we'll rein it back in. So the state fair, it is February 5th to the 16th, and I've already got the budget all done for it and everything else. But of course, me being me, it went from, hey, let's go to the state fair, to, wait a minute, Cavi Fest is the same weekend that the state fair opens. So if Amy and Ari and I take the train and we go from Orlando to Tampa, and we stay at a hotel down there, and we go to the state fair on the Thursday, we have a Friday open. We could go to Busch Gardens. I've never been, so that might be fun. And then Saturday is Cavi Fest. And Cavi Fest is the Cavalier King Charles Festival. Cavalier King Charles Spaniel Festival. I'm shaking the phone a lot today. I'm so sorry. It's the annual festival. I ran into some people, and I don't know if I've told you the story yet or not, so forgive me if I have. I ran into some people at Thanksgiving at Port Orleans. The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel has been a breed that I've been interested in most of my life. When I was a kid, all I ever wanted was a Cocker Spaniel. I probably blame Lady and the Tramp for that. I never got a Cocker Spaniel. I had a Dalmatian, though. Lady Grace, that was her name. She's a beautiful dog. I loved her. Anyway, focus. But then later in life, I discovered the Cavi, and she's kind of, she or he, whatever, that dog is sort of like a Cocker Spaniel, only a little smaller. And I just fell in love with them. I fell in love with their personalities. I fell in love with the breed traits. But I've never been a person that really gets a breed. I've always been the person that finds the dog that most needs the home and brings him in. I'm not sure that's what I should do this time. And I'm wrestling with that. I'm wrestling with it a lot. I want to start saying something, but then this is going to lead into another tangent. Let me finish Cavi Fest and the fair first, okay? So anyway, there's a festival in a park not far from the fairground. on that Saturday where all the dog owners come, the vets come, the breeders come, the dogs come. And they were telling me about that at Thanksgiving when I met this couple who had one of these dogs, and we had a really good conversation, and they showed me a really good breeder in the area and told me about Cavi Fest. And it was sort of like out there in my whole, oh, that would be really fun, but I bet we couldn't make it happen. But then it connected to my state fair idea, so now I have to make it happen. So I'm working on the budget, because that's the only thing that'll hold me back, is if I can't quite that, because that's a lot of money and it's really close. So I don't know for sure it's going to work out, but that is the thing that I am attempting right now, and I'm super excited about it. I really, it can be such a fun time, and Amy's never taken a train anywhere before. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to. So even if we just stay one night, we just go for the state fair. I just don't know that doesn't leave me out of alignment with my guides about not going to Cavi Fest, because if that's the dog I'm going to get it sometime next year, about now. And so I really want the whole year to kind of work through the process of it. So I really think that I do need to go to Cavi Fest. So anyway, it'll come together. If it's meant to be, it'll come together, right? So let me go back to that tiny little tangent. I was thinking about this last night, right? Do you guys know the story about the seagulls? Like, this is a story that I've heard most of my life, right? Apparently, if you tie a red bow or anything probably around a seagull's neck, all the other seagulls will peck it to death because it's now different, and they will kill it. And that is, whether that's true or not, that's such a life analogy, and especially like where we are right now in life, where everybody's so angry so much of the time, and everybody's, divided into these two groups. It's so weird to me, because my guides told me before the shift started, they said, they showed me that image of two people sitting on a bench, and like they are in two entirely different realities, and they're like, this is the world you're walking into. They're like, do not pick a side, continue to look for truth, because that's the only way you'll end up in the reality that's bright and sunny. And I think that I've done a pretty good job on that, because I love life. I think it's so beautiful, and I'm so happy and feel blessed, and so I think I must have done the right thing through the last 4 years. But that's because I was very intentional about it. It's so easy to get sucked into a side mentality. I think that's just part of our human instinct. If you are struggling with that, because I know a lot of people are, and it's just making you crazy and sad and frustrated and scared and angry and anxious and all the things, the biggest and best piece of advice I think that I could give you is get out of the echo chamber. Stop looking for things that validate your side, because that's where this energy is coming from, is in those groups of people that all have a side, that are all hateful, are all angry, or all, whatever the emotion is. It's like, it's when all that energy congeals into a group. So like, stop watching the videos that back that up. Stop going to the protests. I'm sorry, but that's I had a friend who, she was going to all the protests, and it was making her crazy, and she had to step away for her mental health. And if that's not the case for you, if you go to the protests and you feel good about that, and you feel like you're doing the right thing, then that's a totally different story. I am very specifically talking about, if this stuff is eating you away, then you're in the wrong place. And I don't mean on the wrong side, I just mean in the wrong place. Look out for yourself, look out for your mental health, because you alone are not going to fix the whole world. And quite frankly, I think God's got a good handle on it. So take a breath, take a step back, and find the beauty again in life, because there's a lot of it out there. And, the news certainly isn't going to show it to you. And a lot of, like YouTube videos, that's what I keep going back to, because I see them. They come across my, my home feed all the time. And even on all the social media platforms, you got to curate your social media platform. Maybe go a little blind to the world for a little while and clear your palate, the way I'm doing with Disney. Reset. Do a reset. We're at the beginning of the year. It's the best time for it. And we have a couple of really powerful days coming up this next week too. We've got a really beautiful reset set of conjunctions coming up, starting today. No. Starting on the 6th. Sorry. Yesterday was the full moon. And then it's like the 6th and the 9th, because we have these conjunctions between Venus, the Sun, and Mars are all kind of traveling together right now. And when they make their exact conjunctions, they're resetting areas in our life. And you'd have to know your astrological chart and your houses to know exactly what area they're resetting for you. For me, and there's two schools of thought on that, so there's probably a couple of areas that are getting a reset. For me, though, the big one is home and family. And I feel like that's going to allow me to build to the next step on what I've already started here. And so I'm really excited about it. I love Venus-Sun conjunctions. They tend to be beautiful days and creative and loving and just beautiful energy. So that's coming up this week, and I'm excited about that. But this is the time for resets. Astrologically, we're being supported. It's the new year, so everybody's kind of energetically there anyway. So I don't even know why I'm saying all of this. If I'm so sorry if I'm boring you. I just felt like, I was watching a video last night on the whole body positivity movement, which, like, it's really sad because this body positivity movement started, and it had a lot of problems because you still need to talk about the health of being overweight and obese. There are still health factors. I say that as a person that's been overweight my whole adult life, but have very often in my group of friends been the most active and the healthiest. So it's not that you can't be healthy when you're overweight, but there are factors, and you will feel better if you can control it. But weight is so complicated, and especially with what they've done to, I'm back on carnivore, aren't I? I'm so sorry. Especially when you're, what they've done to our food supply. It's losing weight is very, very complicated and difficult, and hating yourself and constantly dieting, and that's not a way to live. So in that, the body positivity movement was really beautiful, but the thing was I don't think it ever started from a good place. I don't think it was ever in a good place, and it became almost like a religion of its own. And then it became, because I remember when I first started trying to lose weight before I left Virginia to come here, I was at like 340 pounds, and I really wanted to change my body before I moved to Florida and into my new life. And I got so much hate for it. Like, oh, you got to stop hating yourself. You don't love yourself. You have to love yourself the way you are. I could love myself the way I was. I could love who I was. I didn't like the way my body was, and I didn't like the way I felt in it. And that should be okay to change and not have everybody jump on you. And I feel like the dog situation, which is where this all came from. But my carnivore is coming back because I can catch my rabbit trails. But that's the same thing with the dogs. It's like I'm so programmed and ingrained and taught about and feel about rescue animals. I'd rescue them all if I could. And I might have to change my opinion on this for this particular pet that's coming up. I feel like this is an experience that I want to have, that I want to, experience. But I'm having to go through a lot of my own, like, oh, I can't tell anybody I went to a breeder and got a dog, because then, people will be mean to me. And that kind of stuff in life, we need to stop that. We need to support one another, and we need to love one another, regardless of people's choices, decisions, mistakes. You can sit there and think I'm making a huge, huge mistake, but you don't need to be cruel. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm saying like a generic you. Because I see it all the time. Social media has given us free reign to say almost anything we want, no matter how hateful it is and how wrong it is sometimes. We have to be the guard of our own minds and our own hearts. That stuff is out there, and that's how our world is working in this moment. But it doesn't have to be that way for you as an individual, for me as an individual. We have to kind of learn to pull things back. This is what I was saying earlier about getting out of the echo chamber. Like, pull things back, getting to know your own heart. This is what I was talking about the other day. It's like, sit with yourself. Sit with yourself and get to know your own heart so that you know your own direction. Because right now we are in complete overload and overwhelm with outside influences coming in. Other people's thoughts and voices and things happening in the world and things that we honestly do not understand. So we need to stop getting upset and angry and crazed and stressed out, because that just keeps us in a state of being completely ineffective. That nothing good comes from those states. But draw it back. Find your peace. Find your heart. What are you supposed to do? And then you have to find acceptance in that, because if you're anything like me, I've always been the person that wanted to like save everybody, save everything. And I'm realizing that's not actually my job. We come here to do specific things. That's why I say dreams are the treasure map of your soul. When you follow that, the ripples that you are putting onto this planet are everything that you came to do. You don't have to go above and beyond that. You don't have to. If you're here to save something or change something, then of course you do that. But if you're not, and you go and try to save something or do a specific thing that's not yours to do, first of all, you're taking it away from the person who it is their thing to do. And secondly, you're now out of alignment with your own path, so you're not doing your things. It's very trippy. But anyway, that is how I feel about it. That's how I experience life. You know, that's just what I kind of believe, how things work. Like I said, I feel like I cracked the code recently on life. It's like you get still with your heart, you decide what you want, you get comfortable with the truth of what you want. Like, for an example, this puppy, okay? My head says get another rescue dog. My heart is saying get this puppy from a breeder. I had to sit with that and get really still with that. And then I had to accept that. I had to tell my mind to shut up from the programming. I had to tell it to, you know what, we're going to listen to our heart. We're going to let our heart lead this time. And then get your mind on board with that. That's step 2, or I guess step 3. 1 is be still and listen. 2 is accept what your heart is saying. 3, get your mind on board. At that point, like, a lot of emotions tend to come up, fears mostly. Fears, anxiety, programming, and then you kind of turn to your mind and go like, okay, mind, knock these things out. I like to do it by listing them, by like writing out the fear and writing out the solution. And then the fears tend to go away. It's like they just came to serve you to say, are you sure? Or did you look at this? Did you look at that? Did you look at the next thing? And once you've done all those things, step out. That's a very short version of it. There's actually a whole 9-step process to making decisions that I find really, really helpful. And someday I might share that with you. But that's the short version, and I find it really works. And it has allowed so many of my dreams to come true. It's hard, especially at first. It's so hard. Especially if, you know, you're just like, you've always seen yourself as like a nice person, a good person likes to help all the time, save everybody. But life is better when you're in alignment with yourself. And I like to add to that, and that which you know is God, because for me, I'm still very much connected to the idea of God. And, you know, I grew up in a Christian household, and I still very much lean on that faith. I love the Bible. The Bible's fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating. I've like read it cover to cover probably a dozen times. I really like it. Fascinating. Anyway, not the point. But just find yourself in alignment with yourself at the very least, because I know a lot of people don't have spirituality or faith or religion. I think most of the people who I know and who come to the channel to see me probably do. I'm a very spiritual person, and I can't, you know, I'm not going to hide that. So, you know, my channel name is Samantha. Well, no, the name's not, but my URL is Samantha by Grace, because everything in my life, that's what I feel like. It's Samantha by Grace. I'm here today by grace. I'm who I am today by grace, and I am grateful. So grateful. So anyway, well, I guess that was my Sunday sermon. I make myself laugh at least. All right, so anyway, I am going to say have a great Sunday, be well and be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow. This is conversation, I didn't say this at the beginning, so let me say it now. This is conversation 4 of 100, and I've already started to like understand a lot of my own brain and like what I want to do with YouTube, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow because I've already rambled a really long time. But I've got stuff to say tomorrow about YouTube, which I found really interesting when I found it in my own head, if that makes sense. So anyway, you have a beautiful, blessed Sunday. Be well, be blessed. be safe, be seen, be loved, all of the things. And thank you for being here. Thank you for watching to the end. I really, truly appreciate you. And if you are new, thank you for subscribing. That was really, really nice, and I appreciated that. That gave me a lot of heart when I saw the numbers go up like that. I really, it was a beautiful blessing to me. So thank you. All right. I love you. Sending love. Oh, look, I got my nails done. I got a nice silvery color for January. That felt right. Yeah. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.